You've been working hard on your training all winter and spring, and now the summer heat is starting to make things slow down a little bit. There's only so much settle on a mat and short walks that we can do in the middle of the heat without going a little crazy. But the good news is I've got a great solution for you to keep all of your distraction training up over the summer despite the heat. Generally, when we talk to our clients about their goals and what they'd like to do with their dog, they want a dog that's well-mannered enough at home that they can have family and friends over, and a dog that's well-mannered enough that they can take them out into public. So we work on skills like attention on cue, leave it, relaxation on a mat, and loose leash walking. And these skills we practice at home and in low distraction environments. Once you've accomplished it in that environment, the goal is to start getting your dog out of the house and practice in new places. So now that the summer heat is upon us, it's the perfect time to start taking those skills out on the road to air-conditioned, pet-friendly locations. There are many locations out there that are pet-friendly, for pets, not just for service dogs. Lowe's, Home Depot, pet stores, Ace Hardwares, some TJ Maxx and Marshalls and Nordstrom's will all allow you to bring in your pet dog. Be sure to check with your local regulations and restrictions. By calling a store, they'll be able to let you know what their policy is. Be sure to prepare for your trip with water, cleanup bags, and lots of high-value treats. Whenever working with your dog in public, it's important to remember that the training should start the moment you get out of the car. This is generally a great and lower distraction environment to do your warm-up, so stand stationary and practice the name game and do a little bit of loose leash walking warm-up until you find a nice safe spot for your dog to potty before you head inside and start the real work. Once inside, I like to move off to a quiet corner and work on a little bit of settle on a mat and attention on cue. This is a really nice way to be stationary and work on that focus that we need from our dog in this new environment. Without any motion, it also gives the dog a chance to check out their surroundings, making it easier for them to learn that this is a safe place for them to engage. If during this warm-up some distractions do start to pass within closer proximity, remember to increase how often you're reinforcing your dog for maintaining settle and attention while the distraction passes. Your dog will be tempted to go check out their new friend, but by increasing how often you're reinforcing your dog, you're letting them know that attention to you and relaxation pays better than saying hello to the guest. During this time, it's important to talk to any guests that might pass if they ask for attention. This is not the time for our dog to practice polite greetings. This is the time for the dog to learn that attention to us in this environment is desired. Have something prepared like, "We're in training, not today," or "Sorry, not right now," to let the guests know that we're not doing any greetings. After a quick indoor warm-up and you can gauge that your dog is ready to do a little more work, then we start to increase the distractions by moving around the store. When I first go from stationary to in motion, I like to have a really high rate of reinforcement, aka clicking and treating the dog frequently. This helps them stay engaged as all the new distractions of the new environment are around. You can let your dog know that loose leash and attention to you is what you'd like. Be sure to keep space from any big distractions in the environment that your dog isn't ready for. If you need to, you can select a nice path around the vicinity of the shopping center to help avoid some of the main shopping distractions. It's always a good idea before going out in public with your dog to have a greeting routine planned out in your head. For dogs that are still easily excited by distractions and are working on no jumping, I might decide that today is not the day to work on that, and I say, "Thank you, not today, we're training." If the dog is prepared, then I like to ask for something like a sit with attention to the handler, and then the handler will release the dog to go say hi. The guest can then bend down and greet your dog, and you can call your dog away before the greeting gets too exciting and reinforce them back by your side. This is a nice way to reward the dogs for 4 on the floor, but keep the greeting short enough so they don't get too overwhelmed and start jumping. In order to do this type of greeting, it's important that you educate the person who's going to greet your dog. So be prepared to say something like, "Yes, my dog can say hi, but do you mind if I ask him to sit first?" This way, the guest has nice instructions that they can follow to help your dog be successful with their training plan. Remember that anytime we take our dogs somewhere to work with them, the dog needs to be the priority. So it often means that we're keeping sessions really short and leaving before the dog gets too overwhelmed. We need to keep an eye on any stress signaling and body language communication that the dog gives so that we can gauge how they're feeling and know when it's time to call it quits. We always need to be prepared with toys, really high-value food, and water, and make sure that you give them breaks between your big training sessions. Heading out once a week for a field trip session to a nice air-conditioned location can be a great way to keep your dog's manners and distraction training on point while you're trying to avoid that big summer heat. Remember to be prepared with planning the location as well as all of the extra gear that you'll need to bring. Keep an eye on your dog's body language and let them set the pace and the duration of that training session. And remember to be realistic about your expectations. Coming into these environments can be really overwhelming for our dogs, and we want to make sure that we're prepared to keep their training happy and fun for them as they work in this new and distracting environment. Not sure if your loose leash walking and pet manner skills are up for that challenge? No worries, we've got you covered. I think that you'll like this playlist here, which dives into our must-have pet manners.